These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Sunday, April 23rd, right after the Celtics win over the Atlanta Hawks in Game 4. Big win for the Celtics, bounce back after dropping Game 3. It was a hard-fought win. The Hawks, another solid performance from them, but the Celtics just kind of eked out the victory, stayed ahead, and it was a big win. With the win, however, and we will talk about it in depth, but beforehand, the Celtics released, Brian Robb of Mass Live released, if the Celtics win on Tuesday, which is Game 5 of Celtics-Hawks, the series dates for Celtics-Sixers will be Saturday, Game 2 on May 1st, then May 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 15th. And guess who has plans on May 5th?
I do.
Sam was very mad before we were starting the recording.
I want you to think about that time LeBron acted like he saw his family get murdered in front of him at the TD Garden when he didn't get the foul call.
It was almost worse.
That's how I feel seeing the schedule be released. Now listen, I could be more understanding of the NBA's decision to schedule a game on that Friday had they not left a 3-day gap between games 2 and 3, where they had not one but 2 separate opportunities to not put a game on that day. Because I was thinking about it, because I was watching games last night, and it was ESPN. It was right before that Heat Bucks game, and they were talking about the Celtics series, and they were like, because Philly had just swept, they were like, I think it was Woj was talking. He was like, yeah, that series will start Saturday should the Celtics, take care of business or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, if they play Saturday, they'll play Monday. And then here's where it gets tricky. I'm like, well, they could do Game 3 Wednesday, Game 4 Friday. And then I was like, well, maybe they'll leave an extra day for travel. So it'll go Thursday, Saturday. But they said, nope, we are going to give them time. And we're going to make sure Embiid's healthy as hell, which this just struck on me now too. But we're just going to ruin Sam's week. Like, Sam's feeling good. He just watched his team win. We're going to kick him in the balls.
Yeah.
We don't want him to be happy. So, yes, this is something I committed to, and I don't regret committing to at all. But, yeah, I'm going to have to miss a playoff game. I will say at least it's not at home.
Yeah, my thing was going to be, like, it's especially odd that I guess there is a day for travel, so it makes sense, but there's only a 1-day gap between games 1 and 2, and then they just throw 3 in there between games 2 and 3. Like, that doesn't make a whole ton of sense to me. Maybe it's to, like, let other series catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like, get another game.
Dude. How about you want your series to catch up? Don't suck and lose games. How about that? Why don't the Celtics get rewarded? Wow, you took care of business in, hopefully 5 games. Philly swept. Winner of your series gets to rest up before you see Milwaukee.
Well, they do get rested up in between.
Yeah, just in between. Yeah, just so I get screwed. And also, just in case they go 7 games, you're just going to wait 5 days between.
Yeah,
so help me God if this series with Philly goes to 7 games and I have to sit here for 4 days.
Three.
Whatever. It's the same difference. Doesn't matter. If I have to sit here for 3 days and think about Game 7, that should be illegal. That's assault. It is assault. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the Celtics go up 3-2? Like, say the home team wins every game. Can you imagine they go up 3-2 and then they lose Game 6 and we have to sit here for 3 days?
Yeah, it would not be a very fun wait for them to get back to the Garden.
Next guess scheduling for the NBA. Is this because of the Bruins?
Ooh,
am I gonna have to start rooting against the Bruins now?
Let me look.
I'll root against them out of spite.
Bruins playoff schedule. Let me take a look here. Heated up here. All right. The Bruins. All right. So I Googled Bruins playoff schedule. It shows me the score of the Oilers-Kings game. Let me know, first off. Not cool. The Bruins are currently up 3-1 against the Panthers, and their game 5 is Wednesday the 26th. Bruins second round schedule. I don't know if I'll be able to see it. I don't know if they released it yet. Boston Bruins second round playoffs schedule.
This guy just replied to me. I'm not complaining though, because this will put Game 3 in Philly on the 5-year anniversary of the Confetti Game, May 5th, 2018.
That is kind of fire.
And no, it's not.
Sam's still not happy. I have no idea if it has to do with the Bruins. I would assume that's part of it. Maybe they have two home games those days, so they have to space it out because they're also wagon, so they're gonna have home court advantage. But regardless, I'm assuming even if they did have that, you wouldn't particularly care. So we can.
I didn't even hear what you just said. I was replying to somebody.
So irate. I said even if it was for the Bruins home games, I don't think you'd care that much.
Well,
about the Bruins.
No, I'd say I hope the Bruins blow the series.
Hope they play some extra games in there.
I can't believe this.
Sam is in shambles.
My head's in hands, dude. Before I literally had my head in hands when I saw the news.
I know.
I was like, it's like I don't know, like maybe you're uncertain about your report card or something. This is where my mind goes, and you're like, ooh, like did I fail? Did I fail? Did I fail? And you look and like you're scrolling through your grades, and then you see it, and the bomb hits you. Like I kind of knew it was going to happen. I was like, they're probably going to have this game on a Friday for primetime ratings. People are going to be watching games. Please no, please
Except
no, please
for
no,
you.
please no. Well, I'll probably be watching. Just it might be frowned upon.
Wait a second. Sneaky thing. Would they put it as an afternoon game
On a Friday?
Oh, it's a Friday. I was thinking Saturday. Yeah, you're fucked. Sorry. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
My bad.
How's your ankle?
My bad. I currently have it rested on I have like a laundry hamper in my room, and I just put a blanket on it and have it like rested. Like I sit crisscross applesauce, but instead of like on my chair, I have one leg crisscross on my chair and the other leg a little bit extended onto the hamper with my ankle there. Ankle not fun though. Not fun time. Still hurts. Not great, but hoping to be back in action by Sunday next week for ball. But
target date breaking.
Target date next Sunday.
Woj report.
We will have to see what the ortho says, because now I will say not great. The injury, instead of just hurting on one side, it kind of hurts around the entire ankle. Like all sides of the ankle hurt to bend. Like there's no one specific space. So that definitely has me worried, and I could just be getting in my own head at this point, but not good. Probably not great.
Listen, when I've been hurt for God knows who. I've probably been hurt really since December, on and off. If you really want to go back, I've been hurt since August. Just different things I've had to deal with.
Right.
But it is not fun, and it's gotten to the point where every time I'm like sore in a way I don't expect to be sore or anything like that, I'm like, what did I do? Did I just tear a ligament?
Very tough.
Like I go to the worst possible place at all times.
Yeah.
So I completely get what you're saying.
Yeah. Not a fun time. I haven't been injured in a long time. I mean, probably since I hurt the same ankle in college. So last time I was injured. I was a very injury prone kid though, as we've detailed on the podcast, from getting hit in the head with a baseball bat. So
I feel like AD.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Shall we talk game 4? Big Celtics victory. Took home the win after a very frustrating loss in game 5. I know Sam wasn't very happy about that. It wasn't the perfect game 4. That being said, I think
actually many are wondering when this series would start had they won game 3.
Sam's going to be really mad if he thinks about it that way.
I hope they didn't have a plan for it. I hope it was the same plan. I really hope it was the same plan.
I think what you said about primetime makes a lot of sense, so I assume it would be the same thing. But
yeah,
this game kind of felt like the Hawks were still hot on offense, right? Like it was still that similar feel where, the Hawks are getting a lot of what they're looking for. But the way the Celtics responded, their energy on the defensive end and their overall attention to rebounding, like they just cleaned up the margins a lot. And they kind of like, a lot of times Atlanta had the chance to go on this big run. The Celtics just came back and suppressed it, right? Like Atlanta would go on a little run. They'd get it to like I don't even know, like 4 points, 3 points, Celtics would push it back to 8, right? Atlanta would cut it down to 5, Celtics could push it to 10, right? Like every time they tried to get back in, Atlanta didn't have a lead the entire game since like 8 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Right. So as much as it felt like, excuse me, there were times where the Celtics slipped a little bit, they had complete control of this game the entire way. They did a great job of responding to runs. And I just think overall the timely shot making of some of the players, Jayson Tatum didn't have a great game in the first half, but he brought it back in the second half. Jaylen Brown, and we're going to talk about all these players individually too, but Jaylen Brown, again, said it in the pregame, going to pat myself on the back, aggressive Jaylen Brown, right? Finally look for a shot. Good for Jaylen. And then the three-headed monster guard combo of Derrick White, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon was filthy. It was just a great game all around for everybody on the Celtics. Rob too, again, we're going to talk about all these players individually, but like, just a great way to respond, even though the Hawks are playing.
My God.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this specifically, but I do. The first thing I do want to talk about, credit the Celtics for the rebounding, man. After they were killed for it after game 3, and they did a
deservedly so.
Yeah. I had the numbers here. They had 53 rebounds to the Hawks 52. Still gave up 11 offensive rebounds to the Hawks. It didn't feel like it though, because the Celtics also had 9 of their own. It just felt like they paid a lot more attention to the glass. They were fighting for a lot of these rebounds. And then I bet if I look at the numbers here, the biggest thing for me after games 1 through 3 was they had more offensive boards in games 1 and 2, but they were better at defending the second chance points. And then in game 3, they weren't good at defending second chance points. The Hawks had 16 second chance points in this one, which sounds like a lot, but they only shot 4 for 10, right? And so some of those other
a lot of fouls on the second chance.
So, and some of those were like not even that they got a defensive rebound. It was just like the Celtics would go for it and it bounced off their foot or something. So I give the Celtics a lot of credit for paying more attention to the rebounding.
Yeah, I was thinking about it throughout the game, especially early on, right? You saw the first quarter of this game. They come out, they go up 10, 35-25 after 1. They come out with a chip on their shoulder. Their guys are up defending hard. They're on the glass, making sure they secure these rebounds. It was a huge effort. Al Horford, 0 points, 11 rebounds. 3 of them offensive. He had the highest plus minus on the team with plus 17, despite not scoring. He was trying hard tonight. He was out there. Rob was out there. I'm sure we're going to talk about Rob later on. I know you mentioned it. 15 rebounds for him. Shout out to those two guys for holding it down on the glass, working really, really hard to make sure the Celtics secure as many possessions as possible. It was such a backbreaker in game 3. Despite everything Atlanta did great in game 3, they still could have won that game if they just rebounded and had more of a control over that battle. Tonight, they took it in their own hands. They controlled what they can actually control, and they shot pretty much better too. And
pretty
Atlanta
better.
didn't shoot lights out, pretty better. And
I couldn't let it slide.
It was a strong performance. It was
Very
great.
much so.
It was a good bounce back game. They won a close game. Happy about that. I don't know how much you want to dive into that, but after the last game, I was kind of pissed because Celtics win 2 blowout games start this series. They get in a little bit of a battle and they melt. Tonight, I think somebody tweeted it, 28 fourth quarter. Jeez, man. Fourth quarter points from Tatum and Brown combined. Excellent work from those guys. Jaylen Brown was great tonight. He kind of exited his shell. Tatum, take note, 3 of 4 from 3 from Brown. Tatum, 4 of 13. Don't love that. But seriously, they both played really great in the fourth. Tatum made a couple threes. One of them,
big one.
Cam Tabatabai tweeted about and said, I really wish he didn't make that almost because it was so reckless. And I was like, yep, I agree. But he made it. So I tweeted such a bad time. It was such a bad time. They were like up 7. Or no, they might have been up 4.
It was a late shot clock. It was like he needed to shoot it.
Well, he was doing a lot of dribbling. Like you knew it was coming. He wasn't trying to. He was trying to work the defender, and then he just like, okay, I'm just going to step to my side.
The way I remember it is they tried to get something else. They ended up kicking it back out to him. Maybe I'm wrong though. I would need to look at it, but I tweeted out that's the reason you live with some. I emphasize some of these Tatum pull-ups because he can do stuff like that, and that's a big time shot from him. But yeah, Tatum was good in the fourth.
Oh, and he made one from the logo.
Good all night.
That was the one that you might be thinking about.
Oh, maybe I am thinking of that one then. Yeah, that would probably make sense. But
no, there was another one that he tweeted. I don't think they have the clips up, and I don't want this to be a clip.
They don't. That's all right. But, no, I know what you're talking about though. That would make sense. But big
A
game
good
from
fourth
both those
quarter
guys
from
in
the
the fourth.
Celtics. They won the fourth by 3. They didn't play the best defense. They gave up 34 points, but they brought out the offense. They busted it out.
What did
They
you think of the
poured in the
defense
buckets.
overall? Do you think
The
it was like
defense,
do you think it was like more Celtics defense bad or just the Hawks making shots? Because like the start of the game, excuse me, Derrick White was playing great defense on those drives. Like he was cutting off them, excuse me, cutting them off on the floaters. And then like you had shots like remember when Jalen Johnson just made a mid-range jumper over the entirety of Al Horford, shots like that. Bogdanovich pulling up from like half court, making a shot. Like they were
I
making a
hate that
lot of
dude,
tough
man.
ones. And so I think the Celtics defense was definitely better tonight than at least in game 3. Maybe not game 1 and 2 level, but like it was a lot better than last game.
So here's my take on the defense. One, Atlanta got in the bonus really early, so I think that helped. I can't tell you off the top of my head how many free throws they had. NBA.com doesn't have the fourth quarter box up yet. I know you found it last time, so if you want to look while I talk, you can. But
I can get it for you right here.
I didn't love that they still kind of resorted back
11.
to they had 11 free throws or 11.
Celtics had 10.
Yeah. No, I'm
yeah.
not saying it was bad, but okay, so they got 11 points from the line. So
No,
the Celtics
10,
allowed
10 makes 11 attempts. My bad.
Okay. Well, also mind you, the Celtics
Same
got
thing.
4 at the end of regulation because the Hawks decided they wanted to foul
Ratless,
down when the game's over. Okay. Didn't love that you were still seeing them not really have a solution for the Trae Young comes off a pick and Al Horford's waiting for him. There was one possession where they did something. Jaylen came over from the weak side and jumped in as the primary guy, and they rotated. Trae drew a foul, but it was much better than seeing him just get to the basket or have an open floater.
It was a good attempt. It was a good like effort.
It was an adjustment. This is a good thing because you have to play another game against this team. They found something in game 3 that killed you in the fourth quarter. It was a game, I believe the Celtics got killed in the fourth quarter in that game too. I don't know. I'm going to look it up right now.
In which one?
Game 3. I'm looking.
I'll look while you talk.
I clicked the wrong one.
I'll let you talk.
Okay. But yeah, they had no answer for it in game 3. They had a little bit of an answer tonight. It helped that Murray wasn't unconscious.
Hawks shot 10 of 20 from the field in the fourth, 3 of 5 from deep. Celtics shot 12 of 15 from the field, not bad, but 3 of 14 from deep.
No. Is this game 3?
Yeah, this was
all I wanted to do was the numbers, like
the game
points,
they lost,
straight up points.
Oh, they lost 30-29. So I guess it wasn't as bad as you think.
I guess
but
they
like
killed.
The thing you're thinking about is the Hawks had 5 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter alone. Like they were getting a ton.
It just felt like they couldn't get a stop. They had no answer for that pick and roll. Atlanta came back to it today. My dad was flipping out.
Keep in mind they had 5 offensive rebounds and they shot 50% still. So it's not like they shot bad and just got a lot of rebounds. Like they shot really well and like they only missed 10 times, and on 5 of those 10 misses, they got the ball back. Right? Like so that's where
that was the problem. That's why I was on here like red hot last time. Because I just watched it happen. You were like, no. I was like, what do you mean no?
All right. No, you're
and then Missoula was like, get an MF rebound. And I was like, yes.
And they did.
Yeah,
they did a better job.
They listened.
The numbers wouldn't say
shades
exactly,
of Ime being like, stop being a bunch of bitches, and they're like, okay, and then they rip off a run. He was like, get some rebounds. They're like, okay, we're gonna get a bunch of rebounds. And they out rebounded Atlanta in game 4 after an abysmal game 3 on the glass. So great for the Celtics. Good adjustments. It's encouraging to see when you came into the playoffs, there was concern, and there definitely still is, about Missoula's first playoff run as the head coach. I think you've seen him do a decent job at adjusting. I think you saw him do a decent job today of picking his spots to call timeouts.
Yes, he saved them. He did it. He saved them, got them a nice rest before those last 3 minutes. Yeah, I think that's big. And I remember there was one point where the Hawks went on a huge run. Crowd was amped. Everyone thought there was a timeout coming. Celtics went down the court. They found some offense. And then I think it was like Marcus Smart. Somebody missed. Marcus Smart got the rebound. He brought it back out, drove, dumped it to Robert Williams. Robert Williams got an and one. Crowd shut up. Silence. Right? Like the Hawks were just ripped off like a 6-0 run or something. I can't remember specifically. But no timeout. Get down the court. Marcus Smart, feed Robert Williams, and one. Completely stop the momentum. Like if the Celtics are able to do that and Missoula can save his timeouts for late in the game to get that rest before a final push in a close game, to save for that last 2 minutes to make these subs, like I do think there's a benefit to it. And I do think the Celtics are talented enough to execute that sort of game plan, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The Celtics had a huge pile of momentum plays in this Hawks game 4.
Yes.
Shout out to Marcus, the king, the captain, stepped up big time in that third quarter.
Huge.
Celtics were letting things slip a bit, didn't love the close to that quarter. Atlanta had cut the lead to just 3. Smart ISOs up on Rat Bogdanovich, blows by him, slams down a dunk to close the third. And I don't know if Atlanta might have got it to 4 in the fourth, but really never got that close again. Never got it to one possession. Shout out to Marcus for taking over. He was excellent again tonight. He had 19 points on 8 of 14 shooting. Again, efficient for Marcus. 3 of 8 from 3. He made some big ones. He's been excellent this playoffs. They don't have the averages factored in with today's game on NBA.com yet, but through 3 games, he was averaging. Where the hell are the points? Why do I have to do like a scavenger hunt to find the points? Oh, there it is. 16.3 points.
Yes.
On 46 and 40 splits with 7 assists per game. That's pretty nuts. What?
Breaking news. We're going to talk about Marcus Smart, but DeJounte Murray might be getting a little, at least a fine, maybe a suspension. Let me pull this up for you. We can share it on the stream here. This is breaking.
Would they bump the ref?
Yeah, did you see that?
Well, Tatum bumped a ref.
No. Like, Tatum did it. I don't think Tatum meant to maliciously.
He kind of went. It's similar. It's a similar bump.
Yeah,
this is an aggressive. I'm trying to intimidate you bump, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Punk move by Murray. He wouldn't have done that to Scott Foster.
No, that's at least a fine for Murray, though. You can't do that.
Suspend him.
Yeah, why not?
NBA's throwing out suspensions. You have to. Yeah. I need to send this to Matt. You gotta respect the guys with the whistles.
See, I'll pull it up on the screen now. This is different from Tatum's. Tatum's was like, he bumped into him, but I don't think he if the ref wasn't there, he wouldn't have sought the ref out to bump into him. You know what I'm saying? I think he just got up mad, bumped into him, and then started yelling, review that. That's ridiculous, which it was a flagrant foul. Trae Young ripped his arm down. You can't do that. And I know you said,
you saw
he's not strong enough to do it.
I'm not convinced Trae Young's strong enough to do that.
It's different when your momentum's bringing you forward and you're in the air, right?
It's true. I don't know.
Momentum bringing him there.
He didn't undercut him.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care. I'll take the point.
You know what I'm saying?
I just think it's funny. I don't know.
As much as Trae Young is scrawny, he's a tiny guy for NBA standards, he's still 6'1", 200, right? He's still he can grab an arm, take momentum. I might have
We're reviewing it. You just keep talking.
He might be 180. Let me look. No, you gotta be curious. 164. Oh no.
Oh, I weigh more than Trae Young.
My point is,
but them apples.
He's in the NBA. Tatum's momentum's going forward. You can pull him down. But anyways, Tatum's thing I felt was more I'm mad. I'm getting up. Ref was in my way. I don't think it was malicious. This DeJounte Murray thing was.
Oh, there goes my cat.
Here's the screen. Ready? Take a look.
Yep.
I am angry. We just lost the game.
Yeah. Just bumped him. Sheer intimidation there. If you're not watching and you're listening, Murray approaches referee number 50.
Yep.
Arms flexed, very stiff, and bumps his chest right into the guy's shoulder and says something to him.
NBA referee number 50 is disaster.
Again, he would not have done that to Scott Foster.
Gediminas Petraeus.
He's kind of soft for not doing it to Zach Zarba.
Yeah, you got to do it to the head ref. Come on, man.
Yeah, what are you going after him for?
Yeah,
that'd be like going after Luke Cornett.
Anyways, we were talking about Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart has been great this series. I really think he might have been. He was the best player in Game 3. Was he the best player in this? No, the Jays were better. Jaylen Brown was the best.
Jaylen Brown was the best player tonight.
But Marcus was close. Marcus was close. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, only 2 turnovers, 8 of 14, 3 of 8. Hustling,
he made several
great defense,
plays,
big defense. He was awesome. Let's just lump in the 3-headed snake. Derrick White, also awesome. 18 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 of 14, 4 of 9. Malcolm Brogdon, also awesome. 14, 4, 4, 6 of 10. 1 of 2. All 3 of the guards showed their worth, and everyone's having a good night when Joe Mazzulla is going with a tall lineup with Rob, which good, glad
Mm.
it worked very well. Rob was huge. We'll talk about him. Al was huge. We talked about him a little. But when you can get mad that he's not playing Brogdon, also get mad that he's not playing White, and then Smart, and then when Smart goes in for White, you can also be mad that he's not playing White. Like, that's a good problem to have because they were all that good in Game 4. Like, they deserve all of the praise in the world. Derrick's been having a great series. Marcus has been having a great series. Brogdon struggled a little bit early on, but he's picked it back up these last 2 games. Like, this is why you have elite role players. And this is why the Celtics are probably a lot of people's favorites to win the title this year. Because, like, you have this elite depth that can score like this and that can have these big moments.
Yeah, not only do you have guys that can score like this, they're not scoring from just standing and catching and shooting. No. All 3 of these guys, and Smart is a dark horse in this conversation, have showed their ability to get to the basket by creating their own shot. Smart did a great job of it tonight. Again, go back to the end of the third quarter. He blows by Bogdanovich for a dunk. He had one play where he sat there in the backcourt while he didn't touch the ball, got Capella to run up, and then drove past everybody and made a layup and just created for himself. So this has been a big 4 games for Smart as the shot creator, not necessarily for himself all the time because he's been dishing assists too, which is what you really want from him. That's like the number 1 offensive boost you get from Smart. But then you have Derrick White, who has been knocked down catch and shoot, 4 of 9 from 3 today, pretty good. But he's also been money on floaters, on drives. You can rely on him when he gets inside to finish the play. And Brogdon missed 2 layups. One of them was wide open on a fast break. But he was 6 of 10 tonight, and he missed 1 3. So he only missed really 3 shots from 2-point range, if you don't count the wide open layup that he missed.
He missed 2 open layups. He missed that one at that end, and then another one in transition. It was a little more contested, but he's been bad around the rim this year, man. He just hasn't been.
You know what's the best is when Scal's we have the best guys with the left hand in the league. Did you watch national? Did you watch local?
I watched local for the first half.
You turned it off.
The broadcast got fuzzy. I would have left it on. I tried
to put it on,
but I did hear it, and it's. They say a lot of the same things. My favorite was at the end of the half. It was, Celtics going for a 2-for-1. Trae Young's coming back now. He's going to do it. I'm like, no one loves the 2-for-1 more than Scal. I respect the bit at this point.
No, I don't. I hate it.
Oh,
turn
man,
it on.
Yeah.
Thank God Brian Anderson wasn't on the call tonight. Because I watched the local anyways because I'm loyal to the local
It was ESPN,
station.
Wasn't it anyways?
No. ESPN had the day games on ABC, but they had
you're right.
Ian Eagle on TNT. And he's fine. He's not Brian Anderson, which is good. But I would have tweeted the meme of the guy at Ian Eagle. I would have tweeted the meme of the guy with the 2 buttons and he's sweating, trying to pick which one. It's Scal on play-by-play or Brian Anderson. Gotta give Scal credit. When Marcus rolled his ankle, he didn't get excited.
Good for Scal.
Yeah.
For Scal.
Gotta give him credit. Growth for Scal. I couldn't believe it. I was like, he's going to say Marcus just died. And then I'm pretty sure there was one point where Marcus did ask for a sub and nobody talked about it.
Did he get a sub or
I think so. I don't remember what happened exactly after that. I think he came out, but he came back.
He did roll the ankle. He did roll it.
He rolled the hell out of the ankle. He sure did.
I tweeted though, me and Marcus, same person. You get right back in the game, man. Although he didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna be your ankle injury must have really screwed up your memory because you rolled it on Wednesday.
I did.
You said on the weekend.
When I reread the tweet, I'm like, oh wait, that's wrong.
I was like, I'm not gonna bully him. The day does not matter.
I think in my head I was thinking Sunday ball. That makes sense, but I forgot it was that Wednesday.
I wonder how Sunday ball went today. We didn't get to go. I probably would have went if they won on Friday. Probably would have went.
Really?
Yeah, I would have been like, who cares?
All right. Well, we talked about the Celtics 3-headed guard rotation. Let's talk about the big guy in the middle, Robert Williams. We talked about on the pregame show how he should probably get a little bit more minutes. Oh, man.
He did. Got 10 more minutes.
Did he deliver? Robert Williams played 28-53 off the bench, 4 of 5 shooting from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. Got to the line six attempts. That's great. 13 points, 15 rebounds, 12 defensive,
big
3 offensive, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks.
2 blocks.
He might have, he wasn't the best. Jaylen was the best. He might have been the most impactful player on the court. Like he was everywhere on defense. He was swatting shots, completely changing the way the Hawks were approaching their offense. He was able to get on the perimeter, which he's good at. Obviously blocking shots, getting steals. And then on offense, like you always say, right? You said this all last year. He's just a free bucket, right? Like if you get inside
really
and you create that
He's your
space
safety
for him,
valve.
you can just dump it to him. And the thing I love about Rob this playoffs, it's looking like he's so aggressive down low now. Like earlier in the season, you see him get down low. A couple guys would come over, he'd kick it out, right? There's one possession where he had the chance to kick it out to Smart for a 3, but he just went right up.
He went up for the foul.
Yeah, like that aggressiveness from Rob is so huge. Love it. I love to see it from Rob.
Yeah, first things first. Those are 12 rebounds that the Hawks didn't get on the offensive end that he secured defensively.
Sir.
Good for him off the bench. Second, his blocks were impressive. He had 2 steals. But one of the most impressive things to me is he had back-to-back buckets in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. I mean, they were layups, but he was in the right spot. His hands were ready, and he finished the play.
Rob was huge.
He was great, and he had 5 fouls, and he didn't look like it at the end of the game. He didn't look timid. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't getting targeted. Great. Good job, Rob. Excellent. Good job, Mazzulla, for playing him an extra 10 minutes. Maybe he was like sore in game 3. I don't know why they didn't. How about Muscala, who played 1 minute, and Grant, who played 1 minute?
No. Sorry. Can we rephrase? Grant, who played 56 seconds. Let's not overstate it here.
Well, ESPN just rounds to the nearest.
No, I know. Well, before garbage time, he played 33 seconds.
Good for Grant.
But
that's more than game 1 and 2 combined.
I just tweaked my ankle. Ow. Rob was
That's what you get for laughing at my conflict at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, whatever, buddy. Rob was awesome. This was the sort of thing we talked about, how like, maybe they don't want to waste his minutes now, they want to wait for later. Missoula was like, nah, unleash him. Let's see what happens. And I'll give Capella credit. Capella's just a good rebounder. Like he's just going to grab those boards. He only had 7, but he had 3 offensive. Like he's tall enough and strong enough where that's what he does.
I can't believe he played 30 minutes. It
Rob?
did not feel like he was out there for 30 minutes. It felt like Okongwu was out there for 30 minutes.
Who? Capella?
Capella only played 30 minutes tonight, or he played 30 minutes. I can't believe he played that many minutes.
Okongwu only played 18-28.
Yeah. Okongwu felt like he was out there the whole time.
Okongwu was good.
Yeah, he made impact. He had 3 offensive rebounds of his 4.
Yeah.
Oof, he was a pain in the ass in that fourth quarter. Glad he's fouled out.
But shout out Rob. Al too, throw him in there. 11 rebounds, like you said. That's what he was doing. But
yeah,
Rob's impact was huge. Like he was just everywhere. Everywhere the Hawks looked, Rob was right there to meet them. If the Celtics have that, like I feel like over the course of the season, a lot of people, including like Celtics fans, national media, other teams, kind of forget about Rob because like he's just not there half the time.
Well, he didn't play that many games.
Exactly. He doesn't even play a ton of minutes when he does play. So you're like, okay, this team's cool. Horford's a great big. They got a solid, bench depth with, Cornette and Griffin. That's fine. Backups, great. Can play some center. And then you just see Rob coming in. They're like, oh, this guy's probably an all-star talent at his peak. He might be a defensive player of the year at some point. Like this kind of sucks. And like he's just out there. Like if he can play 30 minutes, the Celtics are winning the title. I'll put it that way. Right? Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not laughing at you.
What are you laughing at? Oh man.
Joe Mazzulla on what he saw from Jaylen Brown after JB removed his mask early in the game. I saw his face.
I can't stress to you enough how much I love Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, that's like one of the funniest quotes I've ever read.
Okay,
that rules.
Let's take this chance though. That's a good segue. Let's talk about Jaylen Brown. We talked about it briefly. Very, very quiet the whole series so far. Only averaging 17 shots per game. Only took, I think, 14 in game 3. Came out in game 4, aggressive as hell. Took how many? 22 shots, only 4 threes. Got to the line for
1 of
5
7
free throws. Yep.
And we were all like, whoa.
Yeah, started slow, but then he got to the rim. He got downhill. He's made the threes that he took. Like the best Jaylen Brown game in the series so far. Celtics have now only lost 1 game where the Jays both score 30. This is the first time they did it in the playoffs. Celtics since I believe it was 2017-18 have still only lost 1 game in the first round.
They've
with
never
Jayson
done
and
a playoff
Jaylen.
game before.
The 30-30, no.
Really?
That's what I saw from
Letterman.
I think it was. That was the Letterman thing, but big game from Jaylen. Give tons of credit. Tons of credit his
reach
way.
out to him. I'll do it right now.
We do. But
Little
yeah,
tease
I mean, you can't really ask for much more from Jaylen, right? If he's aggressive, I talked about it earlier in the year. You don't really need him to be the ball handler. You don't need him to be the playmaker. You need him to grab rebounds and score the ball. And that's what he did in game 4 against the Hawks. He didn't have a ton of rebounds. He only had 4, but 3 defensive. That's huge. 31 points, though, efficient. That's what you need from him. And so it was good to see him get back to the aggressiveness that he showed throughout the season that kind of was not showing up throughout the first part of the series.
Yeah, I was happy to see Jaylen turn it up to another level. I was really happy with his shot selection. Again, only took 4 threes, made 3 of them. That's kind of my dream for our scorers as Celtics fans. I really love to see those guys just take the right shots and not do dumb things. He took the mask off. He was a massive piece in that fourth quarter where he was just getting inside, bodying guys, and getting to the cup. He looked so reliable. That is what you need. He was the closer. He was the bucket getter, like you always say. He gave you what you needed to get across that finish line. You got a few buckets from Tatum too, but impressive showing from Jaylen Brown, who did struggle to start this game.
It was big time. It was big time for me. And I will say we can transition here pretty quickly. On the flip side, it's kind of like a reverse Jayson Tatum game too. Like in game 3, you saw Tatum struggle a lot in the second half, but after being on fire in the first half, I felt like in this one he was kind of like not too great in the first half, and then the second half made some tough buckets, made some big defensive plays, grabbed a few big rebounds. Like Jayson Tatum really turned it up. Excuse me, when the Celtics needed him to. Old friend of the show, Danny, loves to text me that Jayson Tatum's a great player, but he doesn't have the killer instinct he needs. This was an okay game to show that Jayson Tatum can show up when the moment matters, even though the Celtics had control of the game, but it was a matter of fending off the Hawks runs. I thought Jayson Tatum did a good job of hitting those big-time buckets late in the game.
Yeah, I was so happy that he just looked like a closer. He took over. It's true. He looked like a closer. He looked confident. He wasn't doing dumb things. He was getting the shots he wanted to get. He didn't look uncomfortable. Early in the game, the whole Twitter timeline was like, wow, Jaylen Brown looks uncomfortable. Wow, Jaylen Brown, like, what's wrong with him in this playoffs? What's going on? Then he takes the mask off. Kind of sucks. Like the mask. Think it's a good look. But he lit it up. 31 points. Efficient. What else can I ask for? Maybe not 2 turnovers, but every single starter.
That's going to be the nitpick. The nitpick is he had 2 turnovers.
No, it's not a nitpick. I was really looking for something to complain about.
Oh, man.
We will have a guest for you guys later this week.
We've been both looking at our phones. Yeah, big time game from the Jays. Shout out to them. You love to see it. I mean, you love to see this is what you wanted to see after game 3. But yeah, it's great. Great to see it. All right. Let's see. I had something else here I did want to talk about quickly before we get into everything else in the rat list. Oh, I think maybe we just talked about Tatum.
We talked about Brown.
No, we just talked about Tatum just now, like 2 seconds ago.
Wait, what was it? Oh, I thought I was talking about Jaylen Brown.
I said in a transition, speaking of Jaylen Brown turning it up in the second half, this felt like a reverse Jayson Tatum game. In game 3, he was good in the first half, and then he was bad in the second half. And in game 4, he was bad in the first half, but turned it up in the second half when it mattered. And then you said the whole thing, I'm glad to see him being clutch, because Danny said he doesn't have the killer instinct. And so that whole conversation.
Cut that.
I'm not cutting this. You're getting roasted by the podcast listeners. In Sam's defense, he was messaging someone to get us a guest for the podcast, but I'm leaving this in because it's funny.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jaylen Brown. That's why you were laughing when I started saying he's a closer. Yeah, no, Tatum sucked. He didn't suck. He contributed for 28 points with Brown. And he made some big threes.
My point was he was bad in the first half, but he turned it up when it mattered, which was the opposite of game 3. Which is an improvement at the very least.
He was fine. I didn't think he was like a. No, I think he had some. I will say, when Tatum had the catch and shoot 3, that was the most certain I've been that he was going to make a 3 in a long time. I think when Tatum shoots off the catch, he's a really reliable 3-point shooter. When he shoots off the dribble, I don't believe in it as much.
Yeah,
and when he's doing that, I just feel like he's not working hard enough to get a good shot at the end of games. So that's why when I just gave a nice compliment to Tatum and I thought I was giving it to Brown, because Brown was doing that. He literally was driving into dudes, using his body, picking his spots as soon as they left the area where they can actually contest his shots. After he bodies them, he's getting the layup off the glass and he's converting. That's what Tatum should do. Tatum's so long. He has those big shoulders that Scal loves. Get to the basket, get to the free throw line. He had 12 free throws tonight. Good job. But that's how I want to see them close games. I don't want to see Tatum trying to shoot threes. I'm just watching him shoot it over Murray now. That was the one I was complaining about. I don't know. I don't care for the threes. He did have a couple nice passes in the fourth, too.
I thought he played fine in the end.
He's fine.
It wasn't a good
Brown
start.
Was the better of the two.
Oh, definitely. He was definitely the better too. I'm just saying I think he was a lot better. I'll put it this way.
He wasn't a detriment.
Sure. It's not perfect, but I'd rather him start slow and finish strong than the opposite, which was what we saw in game 3, right? In the fourth quarter, Tatum had 16 points, 4 of 7 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 rebounds and an assist. No turnovers. That's an amazing fourth quarter from Jayson Tatum. So I just wanted to give him his credit for closing well. Obviously, Jaylen Brown closed phenomenal as well. Phenomenally, I should say. So big game for both Jays is my point. Hilarious that you thought excuse me, that we were talking about Jaylen. That was great. Love that. All right. I think that about covers everything I wanted to talk about. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm dying again. From the Celtics game, because we talked about the rebounding a little at the start. Do you want to take a look at the rest of the league quick and then do rat list? And this doesn't have to be a super long pod, but that's okay. It'll probably be around 50-something minutes anyways. But all right. A look around the league. Let's start with the matchups that could affect the Celtics the most. Obviously, the Sixers won their series. We don't really have to talk much about that. And B being potentially 50% for the start of the next round is huge.
Did we talk about this?
We debated whether or not
I complained about it.
Yeah, we talked about whether or not we think Doc is exaggerating.
Yeah, I don't think he's telling the truth.
I think he's telling the truth. I think because you said, who was it, Devin, that said maybe he's underselling it.
Yeah, he thinks it might be actually really be bad for him to say anything, which could be true because the Sixers are going to have. Let's see. Yesterday was Saturday, so they're going to have a week off between games. He could have been like, yeah, it's probably not that bad. We're just being cautious. But if he's worried about him still possibly missing a game a week out, I don't know. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. I feel like he's full of it.
Now, I think it's either Doc is telling the truth or he's understating the injury. I don't think he would say that and Embiid's going to be ready. I just feel like I understand the benefit of maybe messing with the Celtics.
50-50. So could be ready.
I know, but I just don't think he would lie and say it's worse than it is. That's just I don't think he would want to I don't know, saying anything as much as he could be like, oh, maybe the Celtics will take it easy. I feel like saying anything is going to either have if he said Embiid, he's not hurt at all, he's ready to go. I feel like the Celtics would be like, all right, we're ready to go then, right? F it. And if he says he might be 50%, the Celtics might almost reverse psychology and be like, all right, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he's 50%. We have to attack him. We have to be ready to go. We can't.
Well, knowing the Celtics, they'll be easy when we're playing OKC. Let's lose by 50.
No, I definitely don't think they're going to do that anymore. I think they learned their lesson with Atlanta, and I think they're going to push forward. I will say though, with Joel Embiid fully healthy, I think the Celtics win the series in 6. If Joel Embiid is less than 100%, hey, I think it's going to be ugly. I just don't think the Sixers team is as good as the Celtics. I just don't. And I know you're going to say, well, Sixers didn't lose in the first round. Then that's
not what I'm going to say.
And not you, but people listening, I feel like on paper, since the break, we talked about this in the first of the floor pod last night. Go check that out. Since the break, the Hawks are the 4th best offense in the NBA, right? They're going to get buckets. The Nets aren't. The Nets shot 56%. They shot 50% from the field, 40% from deep, and scored 85 points in a playoff game. That's just not very good. And that's not to discredit the Sixers. They played well. Embiid played well. Tobias Harris came up big. Harden looked okay. They're a good team. I just don't think they're as good as the Celtics.
Yeah, no, I get it. Celtics took care of the Sixers pretty well this year. We talked about this before. Tatum was not good against the Sixers, so that's red flag number one.
Red flags.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something to look for. I have this. I mean, we'll save some of this for later in the week, but I mean, I have this weird suspicion that this could go badly for the Celtics. It feels like this is the time it's going to
You've
happen
talked
that they
about
might
this
screw it
briefly.
up. But that being said, if Embiid's not feeling well, then who's going to cook them? Harden, not him. He looks bad. He looked bad yesterday against the Nets. He was missing layups with his left hand, his strong hand. He just wasn't looking like himself. Maxey's been pretty good for them, but besides that, like Tobias Harris, is that the guy that's going to get you?
He's been good. I give Tobias credit.
Well, he kind of sucks.
Good.
So if that's who you're relying on, like you said, it's the Nets.
I'll check the numbers. I'm pretty sure he's been fairly good in these playoffs. In before Jack looks like an idiot. Let's take a look.
Let's look.
He's averaging 20.3 points.
Nets.
8.8 rebounds.
Still Nets.
2.0 assists. 56.7% from the field. 57% from deep. So like,
yeah. Well, if Tobias Harris shoots 57% against the Celtics, I'll be really upset. I'd be real mad.
Yeah.
But if they don't have Embiid, I think the Celtics should take care of him. The Celtics literally lost one game to the Sixers this year. It was when Embiid had 52. And the only reason they lost that game was one, because they melted on the offensive end, but two, because PJ Tucker made 3 threes in a row.
That he did. What's PJ Tucker shooting from 3 in the playoffs, Sam?
I watched him miss a couple yesterday. So
he's taking like 3.8 per game.
Let's say like 29%.
20%. You overshot it.
There you go.
Not great for BJ. So
reminds me of John Collins.
At least, yeah, John
Collins. John Collins is one of my favorite players ever.
Is that a new thing? Is this new?
Yeah. I really like his game.
Cool. Yeah. No. Good. I'm glad.
He looks good. Who's guarding him?
It's so foul.
I'm guarding him.
Did you see Cam Tobias tweet about John Collins?
No, what did he say?
He tweeted about oh god, I gotta go find it now.
He rules at Twitter.
I told him this in person because he's at like Celtics games. I told him straight up, I'm like, you are maybe like the best at Twitter I've ever seen in my life. Like, yeah, he's so good.
He's so good at it, man. He's just Jaylen Brown, 1 of 7 with the mask, 11 of 15 without the mask.
There you go.
Sports Center got really hip and they said, plays mask off by Future with the graphic.
Wow, look at them go. They're cool. Yeah. They're really cool.
Them and literally every person on Twitter said mask off.
Oh, man.
It's like when any time like someone breaks their face, like you have the nobody cares who I was till I put on the mask.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, this is a disaster. I can't share audio because it's not in the right tab, and I'm not logged into Twitter on this tab. But he tweeted the video of, I forget the guy's name. Do you know the guy? He's like a battle rapper. He's a meme. He went famous for like
Super Hot Fire. Yes,
Super Hot Fire. Thank you. He had a thing that's like I get the ball, I shoot it, I'll miss it. Psych, I swished it. And he just cut the swished it part. He just tweeted out, I get the ball, I shoot it, I miss it. And then
that's excellent.
And he just goes, John Collins.
It's true. They were just leaving John Collins like he was Grant last year or Ben Simmons.
That was a great tweet.
Shout out to Ben Simmons. Great season from him.
Great highlight.
I saw the mixtape.
I saw the tape. Oh man, you can't really ask for much more from the guy.
Well, it's okay. The reports say Ben Simmons likes basketball again.
You want to know what's sad? I follow the NBA so closely. I know you do too. That outfit with the yellow, that was from last playoffs. It's not even this year's mixtape. That's old. It's not fresh. And he rocks a new one every game, so I know it's old. Right? You know that's got to be true. So. Very tough. The other series I really wanted to talk about, we don't have to cover too much more. Like we don't have to go all the way around the league. Actually, there's 2 more. Let's keep in the Eastern Conference for now. Talk about your favorite team in the world, the New York Knicks. Knicks up 3-1 on the Cavs. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Cavs look like me and the boys.
They do.
Donovan Mitchell sucks. Not the best unfortunate Mitchell in the NBA.
Ooh.
Darius Garland played
Yikes.
half a game today. He was great in the third quarter, sucked for the rest. Mobley and Allen are just big for nothing, not grabbing many rebounds. Had PTSD to Friday's Celtics game watching that game today. Mobley, I'm not really convinced is going to be any good. Well, let me rephrase that.
Come on.
Mobley, I'm not convinced is very good. Watching that, he looks lost.
Yeah.
Does he not look lost? He looks lost.
I just love the way you say it. You go, he looks lost. You sound like Stephen A.
I mean, they're not playing against like he's not playing like Anthony Davis. He's playing Julius Randle, who sucks, by the way. Still
Mitchell
sucks.
Robinson, Josh Hart. Josh Hart might as well be Anthony Davis. Shit, they're making him look like it.
How tall is Josh Hart? 6'5"?
You want to guess? Oh, I think you're right. I think you might have banged it. 6'4".
People are saying, all right, Mobley is supposed to be the next KG. You can't get past Josh Hart, who has been good. Really? Get out of here. Terrible.
Josh Hart averaging
terrible for the
6.8 rebounds. 6-8 rebounds a series.
Cavs
Josh
should be
Hart's
ashamed of
good.
themselves. They blew game 1, blew them out in game 2, come and get killed in game 3. Today they get killed for half, come back and try in the third quarter, and then get killed in the fourth. Just an embarrassing effort from a Cavs team
I will
that
say
I said was good. Hand up my bad.
Mobley averaging 10.3 rebounds. Needs to be more. Jared Allen 8.3. Come on. Come on. This guy be double digits, Jared. Come on.
Tall for nothing, but Scal will tell you he knows how to put a computer together. Literally every time they play Jared Allen. Yeah, I remember I was at the pre-draft workouts with him.
No, I do know this.
And I asked them all to tell me a fact, and he was like, yeah, I know how to put together a computer.
Smart guy, Jared Allen. Credit the Knicks, though. I know you don't like them, but they're playing well. Jalen Brunson, good. RJ Barrett, good. Josh Hart, good. I'm rooting for the Knicks because I like Jalen Brunson. I know you're not. But
also, RJ Barrett sucks. He was good today, but he's not
been good. His couple bounce back games, excuse me, for him at the Garden. Okay. Last series we can talk about because the rest I don't really care about, to be honest.
Okay.
Bucks Heat is cool. Whatever. We'll talk about it more if Miami wins game 3. Still not convinced they will. Golden State Sacramento has been the best series of the playoffs. And like every single game has been a heater. Like,
yeah, game 3 was a heater.
What happened in game 3? Oh, they got
the Warriors like
sorry. Almost every game has been a heater. Game 4 is amazing. Draymond Green, amazing defensive plays down the stretch. Stephen Curry almost sold the entire bag.
I turned it off. I didn't see that. I know what happened, but I had turned it off. I said,
I looked down. I wasn't
time
watching
to get
it.
ready for pregame.
I look up and I see Steve Kerr like this. No, I see him hand in hand. But the Kings showed their age a little bit. Took some, lessons on shots.
Malik Monk was like, "I got this."
And he
just went over everybody. He like tried to score on Draymond and somebody else.
Hey, he's been okay.
Barnes missed a good look to end the game, though.
To end the game, that was tough. Back rimmed it. Would you rather Barnes get that shot, or would you rather De'Aaron Fox takes a tough look in that spot? Like,
I think they got the right look.
Okay,
he made the right play. Barnes
credit
doesn't
the Warriors.
suck.
Warriors played good defense there too. So
yeah, they did. They blitzed him. Good for Barnes. I mean, they did the right thing. Even Barnes, like the shot was fine. It was just back rim.
25% from 3 in the playoffs, not great.
No, not good, but still, it's still like I mean, he's open. He's shot 1,000,000 threes in that building. Like he knows his spot. Actually, no, he hasn't. Different building.
Oh, true. You know what? That's
behind
it.
the shed.
They probably. Oh man! All right. A brief talk about that one. We don't have to go too in depth.
Let's talk about the Heat, man. I want to talk about the Heat. I know you skipped it. That series matters.
I want to go with it. Look at Miami, man. Everyone was like everyone saying like,
I'm plugging my shit in. I've had enough of this.
The Celtics would beat the Heat in 5.
I'm plugging my
right?
computer in.
You're good. I'm just rolling with it. The Celtics would beat the Heat in 5, right? The Bucks are gonna have no problem. Obviously, the Giannis thing matters very much, right? Like obviously, the Giannis thing is huge, but like still credit the Heat. That Bucks team should be better than them without him. Like especially with Tyler Hero out too. Like Jimmy Butler's on fire. Duncan Robinson remembered how to shoot, right? Like everybody's just kind of coming together and they're playing good basketball. Like they're just straight up beating the Heat, right? 30 points for Butler on ridiculously efficient shooting. Caleb Martin averaging 14 points on 61-42 splits. Sam would be pissed if Caleb Martin was shooting like that.
There's so many guys I would be pissed about if
Duncan
I was
Robinson.
Milwaukee.
Duncan Robinson shooting set. Let me run through this quick. Jimmy Butler shooting 67% on 3 attempts. Caleb Martin 42% on 4 attempts. These are threes. Duncan Robinson 77% on 4 attempts. Tyler Hero 50% on 4 attempts. Actually, that's a lot. He only played 1 game. Gabe Vincent 53% on 5 attempts. Kevin Love 43% on 5 attempts. Max Strus 42% on 4 attempts. Like outside of Kyle Lowry, he's the first person. Kyle Lowry is the only person on the team playing real minutes, not shooting 40% or better from 3. You'd be so mad.
I'd be furious. Furious. If I was Milwaukee, I'd be furious. I'm trying to find a post I was reading earlier today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I was on Reddit this morning and I follow a few NBA subs. Here it is. And so the Milwaukee one popped up in my feed. And this guy says, "Where's everybody on the panic meter in this series?" And it's like a bunch of different levels. It really doesn't matter. It's 1 to 10.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Best comment. I'm feeling like a 7 right now. We can't hype our team as having one of the deepest benches in the league and then get outplayed this badly by the 8th seed. Still hopeful, though. Then my favorite one personally, my panic level is about 6 or 7 right now.
Ooh.
24 if we don't have Big Greek Man next game.
Panic level 24?
If they don't have Giannis next game.
Yeah, that would be a disaster.
That's the thing. We don't know what's happening with Giannis.
Mm-hmm. He hurt his back. That's really all we know.
Yeah, but he hurt his back. We touched on this in the pregame. He hurt his back in game 1, came back, bulldozed somebody, and then got a layup and then left the game and didn't play the rest of the game. Then game 2 rolls around. He doesn't play in that. He was questionable going in. And in game 3, he doesn't play. And we're all like, wow, he's really still not going to play. They had a couple.
Do you think if this was the Celtics, would he be playing, do you think?
I don't know.
At this point, it's like maybe not. Because like he's got to be really hurt to not be playing right now. Because
I think after they lose game 1, that's eyeball emojis. Like you kind of have to play. Like it's like, okay, we don't have that much room to screw around right now. We're down in this series against a team with a core that's proven that they know how to play in the playoffs. Whether the team this year was good or not is another story.
I know what you're saying.
They were terrible on offense.
Yeah.
But if you're Giannis, you're getting back out there as soon as you can. I don't think this is all right. Well, they did win game 2, so whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. But like,
no, I know what you mean though.
The longer this goes on, it's like maybe it's really
a siren that goes off after game 1.
Him not playing in game 2 was weird. That was game the 3 spot. If you're not that hurt, that's the spot to play. You're down 1-0. Game 3 was even weirder. The win.
Game 3 was a lot too. I know they won, so maybe it's like, oh, we can win without Giannis.
That's the thought I would think. That's why I'm like, maybe it wasn't as drastic, and they we get away with it. But then again, it was even more time for him to recover.
They got blown out in game 3 though. Like they got rolled. So I'll have to see what happens. I mean, I would not complain if the Heat won. Okay,
follow me.
But
I love that. I love the Heat won.
Would be fun. Would be a fun.
I would love if my internet worked. That'd be.
That's all right. It's just weird to see the Heat. Excuse me, the Bucks depth playing at such a low level with how good they're supposed to be. But I don't know. Credit the Heat for excuse me, for making their shots. All right, shall we rat list it up here?
Rat list it up.
All right. Can I go first?
Yep.
All right. Dylan Brooks, rat list.
All right.
I respect Dylan Brooks for talking trash.
And he doesn't respect LeBron.
Don't care. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Part of the game. Maybe it's a little corny at this point. However, after getting ejected, rightfully so, you can't punch somebody in the nuts. You can't do that. You're right. Like,
a lot of nut punching.
I will say, though, out of all of the flagrants we've seen in the playoffs so far, and by that I mean Draymond ejection, Harden ejection, Brooks ejection. Where does Embiid's kick rank among them? Because it's probably up there, right? And he didn't get ejected.
Embiid's kick is second.
To what?
Stomp.
You think Stomp was still worst?
Stomp is the GOAT of all playoff ejection moments. Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about in severity though, as in should get an ejection. Like, what's the order?
Same.
Stomp, Embiid, and then probably Brooks and Harden. That's what I'd probably go with. Anyways, my point is, Brooks gets ejected, right? Whatever. LeBron James plays really well. Lakers win. And then after the game, Brooke decides, nah, I don't want to do media, right? If you're going to talk trash, you got to back it up no matter the outcome. And on top of that, he comes out and says, I don't know why everybody decides to make me into a villain. Rat.
I didn't know about the last part.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was like, yeah, nobody wants to make me. Everyone wants to make a villain. What?
I need to find it. He said that, though. He said,
how can you say that? That's been your whole thing. Just lean into it.
Dylan Brooks, speaking after practice, said he thinks the perception of him influenced the flagrant foul call. The media making me a villain. The fans making me a villain. That
You're
just
making yourself
persona.
a villain. Hold on. Pull it up. Time to look. You can keep talking. I'm going to find this.
I will send it to you right now on Twitter.
No, not this. Not what you're looking at. Something else.
You can't say LeBron's old. I don't respect him. Punch him in the dick and then get mad for getting ejected. Like, of course that's going to have effect on it, Dylan. You said you don't like the guy, then you go out there and punch him? What are we doing? What are we doing? Ratless for Dylan Brooks. Not because of the trash talking. That's fine. Respect it. But because of the way you handled it after you took the L. Take the L and move on. Anyways, I will allow you to go on with your Ratless now. I'm ready to run.
This is back on March 3rd, ESPN. Tim Cowan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Dylan Brooks, a man who has earned and embraced the nickname Dylan the Villain, is staring into his locker and he says, by way of introduction, you're going to get some good stuff out of me. Later in the article, he says, I want them to be angry, off kilter emotionally. With some guys, there's fear 100%. They don't want to talk to me or even look at me. So he definitely likes being the villain, at least a little bit. He likes being the villain.
Considering he's Dylan the Villain, I would assume
Dylan the Villain. I don't know why they painted me to be a villain. It's the man. Eric Andre shoots himself meme and is like, why would the media do this to me?
Very tough. Very tough. All right, what's your rat list? What you got? What you bring?
Rat list Hawks fouled at the end of the game today.
Good call.
Despite being down 9 with like no time left, they're like, we're gonna just make everyone sit here and watch. It's gonna be our last home playoff game for a while, so we might as well give our fans their money's worth, even though the people that were still there were Celtics fans. Let's see. Rat list Donovan Mitchell for being garbage today against the Knicks. I didn't like that at all. I was very excited for the Cavs to be in this playoff series, and they have not shown up. They showed up for 1 game and a half, and they haven't done anything against the Knicks. Let's see. Other rat lists. I'm trying to flip through all these games. I think Dinwiddie's kind of rat list. This should not be Sam thinks guys played bad, though. This is the wrong thing.
You got anything else? Internet. You throw Verizon on the rat list. Why not? They deserve it tonight.
What is it?
Throw the internet on the rat list.
Should I talk about it?
Perpetual rat list. Yeah, run it. There's some things that I won't be able to cut, so they'll know. Run the rat list.
Yeah. All right. Rat list, Verizon. Yeah, good call, Jack. Internet's been terrible. I've been seeing the stupid circles over Jack and I's faces saying it's buffering and connecting.
How long? All the time?
Not all the time, but like every once in a while, I slammed my desk. I screamed. It gets really frustrating after a while, especially when Jack and I are trying to do funny bits, and we just can't because I have no timing because, I'm just sitting here and it lags. Don't love that. No, not at all. Any other rat lists? Man, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I wish I did. It is kind of funny that Mike Brown's just out there in Vans.
Mike Brown's a legend. I love Mike Brown. Do you have the game up? Or no? Sorry. I was thinking Nuggets. I was thinking Mike Malone.
Oh.
All right. I think that's all I got
Grizzlies
today.
Too. They should be ashamed. Them and the Cavs are on the rat list for just being embarrassments.
9 points in the first quarter is
it's embarrassing, dude.
Horrendous. Rat
list again. Perpetual rat list. The rest of the NBA for just being like, here's a free new team to the Lakers.
Bobby, you're gonna rat list Bobby for saying Lakers finals?
Yeah, Bobby rat list. I don't like that.
Mad funny. I had to tag you. All right,
but it's getting to the point where it's like, these teams in the West suck.
Lakers are good too. Anthony Davis.
Well, I don't know if they're really good. It's just like the other teams really aren't that much better.
They're good.
I'm
starting to think. I'm starting to think whoever comes out of that, it'll be, whoever come. Oh no, because it'll be 2-7. I'm trying to think of how the matchups are going to work.
Whoever
I
wins
think
this Lakers series plays Kings Warriors.
yes. I was going to say I think whoever comes out of the. Actually, never mind. I'm lying because as I'm saying this, I think the Clippers, the Suns, the Nuggets. Never mind.
Clippers are
Anybody
done.
can fucking win. Who knows?
Kawhi doesn't
I
want
think
to play
anybody.
anymore.
No, I think the Clippers can bounce back. They play well.
I don't know.
Is it 3-1 or 2-1?
It's 3-1.
Oh, never mind. I lied. They're cooked. Yeah, my bad. Hand up, my fault. My bad. All right. I think we can call it there. We did the rat list. We got some cuts in there for Jack to make in the edit, but that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Sam's internet. That's okay. This is the most cuts we've had in a while in your defense. So every once in a while, you're in for a flu game.
Oof.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts. So that's not too bad. Thank you for listening. We can wrap up here. I'll do my 2 plugs. Subscribe to the channel. We're at 305 right now. We appreciate it very much. Leave a like, as always. Leave us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. 5 stars on each. Hit the 3 dots on Spotify. Hit leave a rating. Go down to the very bottom of Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. Hit the 5 stars. If you're not going to leave 5 stars, like I always say, just be mean to us in the YouTube comments. It's fine there, right? It'll help us engagement, and you can get your rant off. It's okay with me. Just 5 stars if you're going to leave 5 stars. If not, go be mean to us over there. So thank you very much, and I'll let Sam wrap up.
Thank you very much for listening or watching. If you are watching, you're on YouTube at How About Them Celtics. If you are there, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, turn on the notifications because we will be live before every playoff game for the remainder of the season. Well, maybe not game 3 of the conference semifinals, but the rest will be there. Maybe Tim will join you for that.
Yes.
We'll be there 30 minutes before every game for the pregame show. It's always a good time. We have a good chat. We have good people. Also, hoping we can make the return for the halftime shows. I enjoy those. I think now the games are going to matter a little bit more. I'll be fired up in the second round for the halftime. So we'll probably do that too. But all the latest pods will be there, so don't miss out on a new episode. Leave likes, comment. Again, we love the comments. If you're not on YouTube, you're listening on the streaming platforms, fantastic. Follow us. Make sure you get all the latest pods and leave a 5-star review. On top of that, if you want more of us, you can follow us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok are that, and Facebook is just the name of the podcast. And there is yet another place you can get the pregame shows. If you want more of Jack, at Jack1NBA on Twitter, you can find him tweeting stats. You can find him tweeting out his work at Celtics Blog. If you've not read Legend on Celtics Blog, go read it. Did a great piece on Derrick White. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sam LaFrance NBA. You can see me complain about the schedule for the next round of the playoffs. That's it for us. Bye.